Hello everyone. Have you ever bought a bunch of cilantro that looked so fresh and beautiful? But after just a few days in the refrigerator, the leaves wilted, turned yellow, and lost their aroma? Cilantro may be a small herb, but it has great power. It brings vibrant flavor to soups, salads, stews, and many familiar dishes. However, the biggest problem is this. Cilantro spoils very quickly if it is not stored properly. Hello everyone, I'm Mary. Today, I will share with you 3 simple, scientific, and easy ways to store cilantro at home, along with a proper washing step, to help keep the herb fresher longer, cleaner, and safer for your health. If you enjoy practical kitchen tips like these, stay with me and let's begin together. Washing cilantro the right way. First, I spread the bunch of cilantro out on a cutting board or a clean flat surface so it is easier to observe. I gently separate each small stem and begin removing all the leaves that are yellow, bruised, or darkened. If these leaves are left behind, they will rot very quickly and spread to the fresh parts, so it is best to discard them right from the start. While doing this, I always handle the cilantro very gently. Not pulling hard, not squeezing the leaves. Only using the tips of my fingers to lightly pinch and remove the damaged ones. This way, the good leaves remain intact, not bruised. And when stored, the cilantro will stay fresh longer. After finishing this step, you will see that the bunch of cilantro looks neater, greener, and much more visually clean. At this point, we move on to the washing step. I prepare a large bowl or a deep basin. Fill it with cool water just enough to submerge all the cilantro I have. Then, I add a small pinch of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda into the water, and gently stir to dissolve. Now, I place all the cilantro into the prepared bowl of water. I use my hand to gently press the herbs down so that both the stems and leaves are fully submerged. There is no need to rub hard. Just gently swirl in a circular motion so that dust and sand can loosen and fall away from the leaves and stems. I let the cilantro soak for about 10 minutes. During this time, the salt and baking soda help remove dirt, reduce pesticide residues, and eliminate tiny insect eggs clinging to the leaves. This is a very important step, especially for those who care about their health and often use cilantro for soups, salads, or fresh dishes. After enough time has passed, I gently lift each handful of cilantro and transfer it to another bowl of clean water. Here, I do not pour the herbs out roughly, but always lift them by hand so that the dirt remains settled at the bottom. I rinse the cilantro 2 to 3 times with clean water. Each time, I only gently shake the herbs in the water. Not twisting, not squeezing, because cilantro is very delicate and easily bruised or broken. Where are you watching this video from? Please leave a comment and let me know. I'm so happy to meet everyone from all around the world. When I feel the cilantro is clean enough, I place it into a colander and spread it out evenly so the water can drain completely. I let the herbs air dry for a few minutes. Then, to speed up the drying process, I use a clean cloth or kitchen paper towel and gently blot the water from the stems and leaves. I do not rub, I simply touch the towel lightly to the herbs, as if I am drying these tiny little leaves. Our goal is clean cilantro, free of sand and dirt, and as dry as possible, because excess moisture is the main reason cilantro becomes soggy and spoils quickly during storage. Method 1. Storing cilantro in water. I prepare a clean, tall glass. Next, I pour cool water into a height of about 5 centimeters, equivalent to 2 inches. Just enough for the roots to touch the water, but without wetting the leaves above. Now, I gently hold each bunch of cilantro and place the stems into the water, allowing the herbs to stand upright naturally, like a small fresh bouquet. To maintain stable humidity and prevent the leaves from drying out, I take a large zip bag or a clean plastic bag and gently cover the entire leafy part above. I do not tie it too tightly. I simply let the bag act like a dome to keep the inside environment sufficiently moist while still allowing air circulation. Then, I place this jar of cilantro into the refrigerator's crisper compartment, in a spot where it is less likely to be bumped, and not too close to direct cold airflow. With this method, cilantro can stay fresh for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how fresh it was when purchased. If the cilantro still has its roots attached, it will stay fresh even longer, and the leaves will retain a very beautiful green color. During storage, every 2 to 3 days, I check and change the water once, to keep it clean and clear, helping prevent the stems from becoming slimy or rotten. Each time I need to use it, I simply take a pair of scissors and cut the amount needed for my dish. Then continue keeping the remaining cilantro in the jar. This method is very convenient, especially for those who frequently cook soups, make sauces, or prepare light salads. Method 2. Storing cilantro with paper towels. After the cilantro has been thoroughly washed and completely dried in the previous step, I carefully spread the herbs out on a clean flat surface, gently separating the stems so they are not piled too closely on top of one another. Next, I prepare paper towels or kitchen paper, choosing a type that absorbs moisture well but is not too thin. I place the cilantro in the center of the paper, then fold the paper over, fully wrapping both the stems and the leaves. At this step, the most important thing is, the paper should hug the herbs just enough. Not too tight, but not too loose either, so it can effectively absorb any excess moisture from the leaves. Once wrapped, I place the bundle of cilantro into a zip bag or an airtight food container. If using a zip bag, I gently press the air out before sealing it, to reduce moisture buildup inside. Then, I place the bag into the refrigerator's crisper drawer, in an area where the temperature is stable, and away from spots that are too cold or exposed to strong airflow. With this method, the cilantro maintains its natural green color. The leaves do not become waterlogged, and it can stay fresh for about 2 to 3 weeks. What makes this method especially convenient is that you can easily open the bag whenever needed, without having to change water, without needing jars or bottles, while still keeping the cilantro clean, fresh, and neatly stored in the refrigerator. Method 3. Freezing cilantro. After the cilantro has been carefully sorted, thoroughly washed, and completely dried, I place it on a cutting board, and use a sharp knife to cut it into small sections. I do not cut it too finely, only to a moderate size so that when used in soups or stir-fried dishes, the herbs still retain their natural shape, and do not become mushy. At this step, the most important thing is, the cilantro must be completely dry. If any moisture remains, it will turn into ice, and reduce both the aroma and quality when used. Next, I place the chopped cilantro into an airtight container or a zip bag specifically for freezer use. I prefer using a container, because it is easier to neatly arrange in the freezer, and helps prevent the herbs from being crushed. I gently spread the cilantro evenly inside, without pressing it too firmly, so it can freeze naturally and remain loose and fluffy. Then, I place the container into the freezer compartment. With this method, the cilantro can be stored for many months, while still retaining its characteristic aroma when cooked. When ready to use, I simply open the container, take out the desired amount, and add it directly into the dish being cooked. No need to thaw beforehand, because once thawed, the herbs will become limp and no longer look appealing. Frozen cilantro is especially suitable for soups, stews, stir-fries, and broths. The aroma still gently spreads, enhancing the dish, without requiring extra preparation time. However, if you use cilantro For garnishing dishes or eating raw with salads, it is better to prioritize the first two storage methods, as fresh cilantro will retain better texture and appearance. My video ends here. Which method do you like the most? Or do you have your own tip you would like to share with everyone? Please leave a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to press like and subscribe to Merry Home, so we can continue discovering more simple and elegant kitchen tips together. Thank you for watching, and see you again in the next video.